Guys, welcome back. Chalo guys, so we'll get into chapter 4, that is tax rates. Guys, this chapter is important and there are many things to keep in your mind. You have to retain it because in exams they may ask different questions like what is the tax rate applicable for so and so person, or in so and so cases, or compute tax liability of so and so person. I can answer all this question only if I know the tax rates. Agree? So we will be discussing the tax rates which are applicable for different types of assessees as per assessment year 21-22. Agree? And why I am telling it is important also, there is a lot of amendments which is brought down in this chapter. That is, they have introduced something called as new scheme, old scheme. Previously there was old scheme. Till last attempt I used to teach only old scheme because there was nothing called new scheme. Now in last Finance Act, that is Finance Act 2020, they have added something called as, okay, we are giving one new scheme for the peoples, telling that we are reducing the tax rates. Okay, so here for our exams, that is June and December 21 exams, we have to study both are covered in your syllabus. We have to cover both old scheme, whichever was there previously, plus the new scheme which has been introduced newly. Okay, so there are many things for you people to keep in your mind, so please pay attention whenever we are covering this. And see guys, I want to make it clear before I start this chapter. In this chapter, whatever I will be covering is everything with respect to tax rates applicable for different persons in different cases. So but in your institute study material, don't try to search, okay, where is this point, where is that point, because it might be given in different chapters. Okay, but why I have included all the tax rates in this chapter is, it is good to know with respect to tax rates everything in one place. Agree? So whatever different tax rate is applicable for different assessees in different scenarios, cases, everything I have included in this. Anything related to tax rates is included in this chapter. Agree? So we will be seeing everything in detail in this chapter one by one. Chalo guys, we will start. Charge of income tax, which is given in section 4. What did section 4 tell guys? Total income, general charging section, total income of a person earned in previous year is chargeable to tax in the assessment year. Next assessment year. Agree. Okay, we have seen all these definitions. Section 4 of the Income Tax Act 1961 is the charging section which provides that tax shall be charged at the rate prescribed for the year by the Annual Finance Act. That is, the rate whatever we calculate is as per the Finance Act. Which Finance Act is applicable for you guys? Finance Act 2020. Next, the charge is on every specified person specified under section 231. So 231 it defines person. We know person includes so and so people. Agree? Almost everyone is covered there. Okay. Next, tax is chargeable on the total income earned during the previous year and not the assessment year. That means income earned in previous year is chargeable to tax in assessment year. But for this we have certain exceptions, that 5 exception. In a person leaving India permanently, or a transfer of property to avoid tax, or non-resident shipping company coming to India and leaving India, all those things we have covered. Agree? In the particular chapter. Next, tax shall be levied in accordance with and subject to various provisions contained in the Act. So tax, whatever we calculate, we have to know the entire Act. Okay, because I told you, for example, in the last chapter we did one problem, interest on savings bank. Okay, 1,000 is an income, no doubt. But in deduction chapter they have told, okay, 10,000 deduction has been given up to this. Up to 10,000 you can claim deduction. So I can calculate what is the income of a particular person when I know the deductions also. If not, I cannot calculate. Agree? That is what I told you. There is a chain link between the provisions in income tax. Even these things, we have already covered these points in our second chapter only. Agree? We have covered all these points. But again I have brought that points into picture here because before tax rates we discussed tax rates, we have to know all this. Clear? Next, rates of tax. Income tax has to be charged at the rate fixed for the year by the Annual Finance Act, that is for us Finance Act 2020. Tax rates depend upon different things. What are those? The category of person, whether I am an individual, HUF, partnership firm, company, it depends on that, first thing. Second thing, what is my income? Sometimes what happens now, if you are having this much income, tax rate is this much. If your income is this much, then the tax rate will be different, like that. Higher is your income, higher will be the tax rate in income tax. Clear? Next, residential status of a person, because residential status of a person depends on, like, okay, what will be my income, plus here and there for residents some tax benefit has been given. For residents I am talking about, here and there some special benefits has been given, okay, for residents only. Next, age of the individual. Age of the individual also is important. Only for individual age is important. Sir, why? Age, they tell, don't ask the age of a girl, boy, that this and all they will tell, but still they will ask for income tax purpose, because if you are a senior citizen or superior senior citizen, they are giving some small benefits. Okay, so next, type of income. Sir, there are different tax rate for different types of income. Okay, only 2-3 incomes are there for which different tax rates is applicable. We will call them as special income. We call them as special income. That thing we will see later. Normally for individual HUF and all, slab rate is applicable, whereas for company, partnership firm and all, we call it as flat rate. Flat rate. For individuals HUF, AOP, BOI and all, we call it as slab rates. Slab, SLAB. Whereas for partnership firm, companies and all, it is flat rate. Clear? Yeah. Bala Sridhar, sir, do we have to remember the tax rates for the exam? Yeah, exactly. You have to remember, madam. You have to remember. No doubt in that. Without that, you cannot solve the problems. Sometimes directly they may ask the question on tax rates, like what is the tax rate applicable in the following case, or else they may ask you to calculate the tax liability, for which you have to know the tax rates. That's what I told you at the beginning of this chapter. You have to keep this in your mind. Okay, no option, no shortcut, nothing. Okay guys, now let's start with the tax rate. Let's start with the tax rates. Please be attentive. Yeah, income taxable at normal rates, gross or base rate. So whatever rates we will see now is called gross rate or base rate, we will call it as. Okay, because there is something over and above this later, we will see. Okay, next. Okay, who is the category of person? Everyone please pay attention. This is very important. You will get confused later. Okay, if you be attentive, I will cover all the cases. Wherever you may get doubt, I will cover all that scenarios. Okay, yeah. Category of person. Any individual, resident or non-resident. We are not bothered that is whether that individual is resident or non-resident. Every HUF, AOP, BOI, artificial juridical person. Okay, almost 5-6 people are covered here. We will call these people as slab rate assessees, guys. In simple, I call them. Okay, not Income Tax Act, I call them. What is that, sir? Slab rate assessee. Okay, because whatever rates are applicable here now, that is actually called slab rates. Okay, okay. Total income from all sources except income taxable at special rates. Okay, there are some special income which we will see later, which are taxable at some special rates, but that income should not be covered here. Okay, I will just give an example here. See guys, assume your total income is 10 lakh. 10 lakh. Okay, now out of this total income, your normal income, special income. Okay, your normal income, assume it is 8 lakh and special income is 2 lakh. Now whatever we are seeing is for this part, that means normal income, I will call it as. Okay, in income tax they don't use anything, the word called normal income, just for your understanding I am telling. Special income, they have used the word. Sir, what is that? We will be seeing later. What is that special income? What is the tax rate applicable? So we are seeing that, okay, for this 8 lakh, what is the tax rate applicable? What is the tax rate applicable for this 8 lakh we are seeing? Agree? For 2 lakh also it is taxable, you have to pay tax, but it is a special income, so some special rate is applicable. So normally rate will be flat, fixed, 10% or 20% or 30% like that. The rate is fixed for this. Okay, which we will see later. Okay, next, sir, normal income. Normal income, that is in simple I can tell, total income other than special income. Agree na? Total income other than special income is called my normal income, which is 8 lakh. So now what is the tax rate applicable for this income we are seeing? Agree guys? Chalo. So total income from all sources. I told you there are 5 heads of income. All 5 heads put together it is 10 lakh, okay, except income taxable at special rates. So income taxable at special rates, we have to separate it, that is 2 lakh. So what is the amount coming to? 8 lakh. Fine, sir. Next, up to 2,50,000 basic exemption limit, you need not pay tax. You need not pay tax. Okay, so then from 50,000 to 5 lakh, the tax rate is 5%. The tax rate is 5%. That is, if you are having income more than 2,50,000, from that 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, the rate is 5%. Okay. Then, if your income is more than 5 lakh but up to 10 lakh, then from the income between 5 lakh to 10 lakh, I am not talking from full zero. We are not talking from zero. From the income from 5 lakh to 10 lakh will be taxed at 20%. Will be taxed at 20%. Last case, if your income is more than 10 lakh, then the tax rate applicable is 30%. 30%. Sir, how is this applicable? We call this rates whatever I am discussing, we call this rates as slab rates, guys. Slab rates. Okay, means if you are having income up to this is the rate. More than this, then this will be rate, like that. Okay. Sir, how do we apply this? Simple. Okay. So now on this 8 lakh, assume I want to calculate my tax. So Sushant has a doubt, sir, but there is a income tax relief to the people who are earning up to 6 lakh if I am not wrong. Sir, that is a wrong conception of the people. We will see that later. Okay, when I come to that point, I will explain. But as of now, we are discussing tax rates. So I will stick to that. Okay, we will discuss each and everything. There is something, whatever we are talking is something, there is something called as rebate. Okay, it is not up to 5 lakh, it is, sorry, 6 lakh, it is up to 5 lakh, sir. Okay, next, which I will cover later. So I don't want to merge everything here. Okay, yeah. Neeraj, tell me.
Yeah, sir, isn't that some 10% reservation, the general category, isn't that the exemption for tax? I thought below 5 lakhs there's a tax exemption.
That's what. Don't get confused with that. There is nothing, the category. So there is no exemption or deduction based on any caste or religion or anything like that. So there is some benefit which we call it as rebate. We call it in tax as rebate. I will talk about that later. Okay. Don't worry. So if anything related to tax, I will cover everything in this chapter. But I don't want to bring everything at once. Okay. Step by step we will go. Okay. Yeah. That is a wrong conception which people have taken, telling that, sir, up to 5 lakh if I have, there is no tax. Okay, but tax is there, but some rebate is available. What is that? We will see. That is actually given in section 87A, which I will discuss in the same chapter, but later part. Chalo. So now, assume I have a total income of 10 lakh. Out of that, special income is 2 lakh. So for which only 8 lakh slab rate is applicable. Okay, how to calculate the tax, we will see. Please pay attention here, because there are many chances where you may misunderstand this, especially who have not learnt tax till now. Okay, so up to 2.5 lakh. Okay, your tax will be nil, because it is a basic exemption limit. We call it as basic exemption limit. That means if you have an income less than 2,50,000, don't pay tax, sir, in India. Enjoy whatever you want in India. Okay, next. Okay, if your income is more than 2.5 lakh, and if it is up to 5 lakh, so what is the difference amount you have to see? Your income is more than 5 lakh, na? So what is the different amount? 2.5 lakh. Agree, na? The difference between 5 lakh and 2.5 lakh, it is 2.5 lakh into what is the rate applicable? 5%. Into 5%. The amount comes to 12,500. Don't apply full. Okay, sir, 5 lakh into 5%. Don't do 5 lakh into 5%. It should be only the difference amount, not the entire amount. Okay. Next, more than 5 lakh, up to 10 lakh it is, but your income is stopping at 8 lakh only. So I will write only 8 lakh here. But the tax rate is up to 10 lakh, guys. But as your income is 8 lakh, I cannot go beyond that. So in this case, what is the difference between 8 lakh and 5 lakh? 3 lakh. Into 20%, tax rate is 20%. So 3 lakh into 20% comes to, how much is that? 60,000. Yeah, 60,000. So amount comes to 70 to 500. This is not your ultimate tax liability. We have something else to add on this. Okay, like cess, health and education cess, that this and all is there, which we will see later. As of now, we have discussed only till here. You understand how to calculate tax as per slab rates. Hope you guys got it. Hope you guys got it. Later we will be solving the problems also. You will get a proper hold there. Okay, but now you try to understand how do we apply slab rate. Okay, because many people, what happens now, they will apply, okay, assume I have an income of 8 lakh. On full 8 lakh, they will straight away apply 20%. This is the misunderstanding which the people will do. Agree? I will repeat the mistake what I am telling. Many people, okay, you have a normal income of 8 lakh. So if the income is more than 5 lakhs, tax rate is 20%. Okay, do 8 lakh into 20%, which is completely wrong. Which is completely wrong. If you do that, that will be called flat rate. But for individuals, HUF and all, what rates are applicable? Slab rates. It depends on your income. We'll go step by step. Agree? Yeah. So please repeat again. So you have a normal income of 8 lakh. On that, slab rates are applicable up to 2,50,000. It is basic exemption limit. So you need not pay any tax. So it is nil. More than 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, it is the tax rate is 5%. So you have to see only the difference. That is the difference between 5 lakh and 2.5 lakh, which comes to 2.5 lakh into 5%. Amount is 12,500. Then if you are having income more than 5 lakh up to 10 lakh, the tax rate is 20%. But your income is only up to 8 lakh. So we have to take the difference between that. That is 3 lakh into 20%. If you do, you will get 60,000. Yeah. Balashidhar is asking, sir, you have to just basically take the difference. Yes, you have to take the difference to apply the tax rates. Like how I have taken here, the difference between 8 lakh and 5 lakh, which is 3 lakh. Clear? Yeah. Chalo guys. Next. Next. Same thing, but for some special people, we have given some extra benefit. Who are the special people? Senior citizens. Senior citizens will have some limited amount. If you are collecting more tax from them, then it will be before leaving the earth, we are asking them to pay tax and go, so they will curse and go. So let us, okay, give some extra benefit. That is what the government thought. Okay, so please pay attention. If you are a resident individual, only for individual this benefit is given. So this two, whatever I am marking it in the flower bracket, is applicable only for resident individual. Okay, depending upon their age. So what is that? I will explain. Please listen, everyone. Okay, if you are a resident individual whose age is 60 years or more, your basic exemption limit will not be 2,50,000. Here it was for normal, every person it was 2,50,000 na. For you, if you are a resident individual age 60 or more, your basic exemption limit will be 3 lakh. Instead of 2,50,000, it will be 3 lakh. Clear? 50,000 extra benefit. That means if you are a senior citizen, we call them as senior citizen. Okay, 60 or more. If you are having income less than 3 lakh, don't pay any tax in India. Enjoy and leave our country. Leave our country in the sense, the world itself. Prapancha. Yeah. Next, second case is you are a resident individual, your age is 80 or more, you are almost near to your death. In that case, okay, your basic exemption limit is, instead of 2,50,000, it is 5 lakh. Straight away it is 5 lakh. That means 5% is not at all applicable for you. 5% slab, here it is there na, up to 5 lakh, 5%, that slab itself is not applicable for you. If you are a super senior citizen, superstar Rajinikanth, okay, so like superstar Rajinikanth, you are a super senior citizen, 80 or more. So in that case, for you the basic exemption limit is 5 lakh. Okay, the rebate part, what some people asked, that is completely different. What I am talking here is only if you are a resident individual 80 or more, super senior citizen we will call them as. Okay, in that case the basic exemption limit would be 5 lakh instead of 2,50,000 or 3 lakh. Clear? Then other tax rates remain same thing. That is, if you are a super senior citizen, from 5 lakh to 10 lakh tax rate is 20%, above 10 lakh 30%. Same rates. Agree? Chalo, we will see what is given here. Second box I am reading. Resident individual. Okay, in both the cases the individual should be resident. Sir, I am an individual but non-resident. Can I claim 3 lakh basic exemption limit? No. I will give an example. I am a non-resident individual, 70 years, Buddha. 70 years, Buddha. Sir, what is the basic exemption limit for me? 2,50,000. I will repeat. I am a non-resident, 70 years age individual, 70 years age individual. Sir, what is the basic exemption limit applicable for me? 2,50,000. There is a questions like this in the exam. Straight away questions. Okay, straight away question. What is the basic exemption limit? In the following case, they will ask. They will give a scenario and ask you to tell what is the basic exemption limit. In the option, the options will be like this: 2,50,000, 3 lakh, 5 lakh, nil. Please be careful. Will they specify? Yeah, they will mention. If they don't mention, assume they don't mention. See guys, for question purpose I am asking, for I am telling, for practical purposes, if the age is not given in the question, always assume the age of the individual is less than 60. Always don't assume anything. If it is 60 or more or 80 or more, they will specifically give in the question. Okay. Next, sir, what if the residential status of the individual is not given in the question? If residential status is not given, always assume that individual is resident. Always assume individual is resident. Clear? So if residential status is not given, always assume resident. If the age is not given, always assume less than 60. Clear? This is normal scenarios. Okay. If this is non-resident, this and all, that will be some special cases. Okay. Chalo. Next. Resident individual who is of 60 years or more but less than 80, because 80 is covered in next box, at any time during the previous year, he is called senior citizen. For him, basic exemption limit would be 3 lakh. Clear? Next, last box. Resident individual who is of 80 years or more at any time during the previous year. At any time. Sir, I am celebrating my birthday on which day? Don't bother about that. In previous year 2021, if you have reached 80 years, okay, that means great. Nowadays living for 80 years is great. Sir, you are great. Take the benefit. Okay. So take basic exemption limit as 5 lakh. That means 5% slab is not applicable for you. 5% slab is not applicable for you. Clear? Next. So there is some clarification given by CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes, which tells that, so first of all, they have told at any time if you reach the age of 60 or 80, you can claim higher in basic exemption limit. Higher basic exemption limit. Now assume, sir, my previous year is what, guys? 2021. Okay. Mr. A is celebrating his birthday on 1st April 21. Which birthday? Assume 80th birthday. Grand party. Buddha is giving a grand party. I am stayed for 80 years. That's an achievement from me. Okay. So I am hosting a grand party on 1st April 21. So now for my previous year 2021, should I take 79 years or 80 years is the question. Will my basic exemption limit will be 3 lakh or 5 lakh is the question. What is your answer, guys? What's your answer? Come on. I want your opinion. 3 lakh or 5 lakh? Thomas is telling 3 lakh. Bala Sridhar, sir, can you please, madam, you please be attentive, madam. So, because see, I don't have any problem in repeating everything, but if you keep on repeating the things, we cannot proceed now. Okay, so please be attentive whenever I am explaining. Yeah, I will repeat it for you now. Mr. A is an individual who is celebrating his 80th birthday, Big Bash Day, on 1st April 21. 1st April 21. So, for previous year 2021, should I consider him as 79 years person or 80 years person? And accordingly, basic exemption limit 3 lakh or 5 lakh? 3 lakh or 5 lakh? Tell me. So many people have given their answers. Balashridhar, you give me your answer now. 80 years, sir, exemption limit is 5 lakh. Yeah, correct. So it's actually a benefit for you when I repeated it. Okay, so we will consider him as a 80 years person and the basic exemption limit will be 5 lakh. Sir, why? Because when you are celebrating your birthday on 1st April, okay, it is in the next year, no problem. But you have completed 80 years when? You have completed your 80 years on the 31st March 21. That means in our previous year. You have completed 80 years on 31st March 21, which is actually within our previous year. That means basic exemption limit is 5 lakh. Enjoy Buddha. Okay, enjoy and happily live our world. Chalo. So that is what the clarification is given by CBDT. CBDT has clarified that a person born on 1st April would be considered to have attained a particular age on 31st March, the day preceding the anniversary of his birthday. Therefore, a resident individual whose 60th or 80th birthday falls on 1st April 2021 would be treated as having attained the age of 60 years or 80 years in previous year 2021. I have given the date also. Okay, so that if by chance, if you get confused, okay, you can refer this. Okay guys, so if you are attaining your age, this is very special case. So in all the cases this can never happen. Only people who are born on 1st April is the headache for us. Yeah. So for them, clarity has been given by CBDT telling, okay, this is the case. Agree guys? So if you are a normal individual, okay guys, and be very careful in the second and third category, who is covered guys? Only resident individual. Please be very careful, because in the exams and all they will give so much of information and confuse you. For example, they will tell, okay, like this. HUF who is carrying on the business from last 70 years, what is the basic exemption limit applicable for HUF? In HUF is carrying on the business from last 70 years, what is the basic exemption limit applicable for them? It is still 2,50,000. There is no age for HUF and all. They may be doing business from last 70 years, but we are not bothered about it, because I have marked this in flower bracket. That is very important for you guys. You have to remember this. That is, it is the second and third part is applicable only for resident individuals. Resident individuals. Hope you are clear with that. Okay. Whereas in the first box you can see there are many people who are covered here. Any individual, whether resident or non-resident, we are not bothered. Okay. Every HUF, AOP, BOI, artificial judicial person, these people also is covered here. Whereas in second and third points they are not covered, because for them always basic exemption limit is 2,50,000 only. There is no second option for them. There is no second option for them. So all these people put together, I call them as slab rate assessees guys. Okay, because for them what rates are applicable? Slab rates on their normal income. Slab rates are applicable. Clear? Are you people clear? So these are the confusions which you may get. That is why I'm clearing it now itself. Okay. So irrespective of the years of business for HUF, EOP, BOI and all, you don't get confused. It is always 2,50,000 as your basic exemption limit. Okay. Sometimes they may also give like this. In EOP is there, all the members are senior citizens. All the members of EOP is a senior citizens. What is the basic exemption limit applicable for EOP? For EOP, why are you bothered about the age of the members? It is always 2,50,000 basic exemption limit. Agree? When we are calculating the tax liability of that individual members separately, then we will see, okay, whether 3 lakh is applicable or 5 lakh is applicable. Agree? And for non-residents, always irrespective of their age, the basic exemption limit is 2,50,000 only. Agree? And there is no difference here between men and women and all. Okay, for everyone tax rate is same. No discriminations are in India. Previously it was there. For women some tax rates, for men different tax rates are there. Okay. Chalo guys, next. So we are done with slab rate people. We are going to next step. Forms LLP. LLP means limited liability partnership guys, or local authority. For all these three people same rates are applicable. What is that? A firm, LLP or local authority is taxable at a rate of 30% on their total income. Straight away 30%. No slab rate, nothing guys. So I will call this rate as flat rate. Okay, this is flat rate. For example, assume there is a ABC partnership firm. Who has 20 lakh total income. Okay, they don't have any special income. Total income of this ABC partnership firm is 20 lakh. Sir, how much is the tax applicable for them? 20 lakh is into 30%. 20 lakh into 30%. Agree? This will be the tax rate applicable for them. Straight away, no slab, nothing. Whereas for individuals and all, we did separate calculation up to 2 lakh 50, 2 lakh 50 to 5 lakh, 5 lakh to 10 lakh, all those calculations are there. Agree? Yeah. Good to know. Good to know means just have an understanding of this. We will cover this in a separate chapter later. Entity or individual other than a company whose adjusted total income exceeds 20 lakh is liable to pay alternative minimum tax at 18.5%. Sir, what is this? Don't break your head. This is completely different, which we will be seeing at the end of our portions. Okay. But why I have given here is, when you are studying later, this will help you. Okay. So that you can study it together. Okay. Normally, what rate is applicable for partnership firm? 30%. But there is something called as alternate minimum tax, AMT we will call it as. If that is applicable for partnership firm, then the rate is 18.5%. Sir, what is AMT? When it is applicable, how it is calculated, everything we will see at the end, guys. Okay, don't break your head now. So this is good to know. You can ignore it now. As on today, you can ignore it now. But when you are studying it next time, when you are studying the subject, once I have covered all the syllabus, you will understand what it is. Clear? So this we will be studying in chapter 13 as per my study material. Okay. See, as per my study material and as per institute study material, there might be difference in chapter names and numbers. Okay, because I have planned my study material as per my teaching in the class, as per my explanation. Okay, but you need not worry, everything we will be covering. Clear? Chalo guys. Next, companies. Okay, now we are coming to next category of person, that is companies. In companies, we have two companies, that is domestic, foreign, which we have already discussed. Sir, foreign company, very easy, sir. Always 40%. Always 40% tax rate. Whatever income they have, straight away 40%. Sir, I am a foreign company. I have an income of 40 lakhs. How much is the amount of tax? 40 lakh into 40%. Straight away. 40 lakh into 40%. Clear? Next, a domestic company is the challenging thing. We have 4 or 5 things which is applicable for domestic company, out of which these three things is an amendment, which I have put it in italics. These first three things are amendments. Agree? Chalo, we will see. See, normally if nothing is given in the question, they have just given domestic company, always apply 30%, guys. If they have just mentioned in the question domestic company, always we will apply 30%. Okay. Whereas for other domestic company, if they satisfy certain criteria, if they satisfy only the certain criteria, the tax rate is lower than 30%. Which are those companies we will see. Okay. Where the company has opted, domestic company, whatever we are seeing now is for domestic company, where it has opted for section 115BA. So 115BA is for some manufacturing companies, which we will see later. So for them, tax rate is 25%, fine. Where the company, domestic company has opted for section 115BAA. Okay, these are the new schemes, guys. That is what I told you, old scheme, new scheme and all they have done now. Previously, only these things were there for companies, these 3. Okay, now they have made all this. Gajipiji. Yeah. Where it opted for section 115BAA, that is 22%. Sir, who can opt for it? I have just given in the bracket. This benefit shall be available when total income of a company is computed without claiming any specified deductions, incentives, exemptions and additional depreciation available under the Income Tax Act. So when this, Sulochana, one second, let me finish. Yeah. So when this deduction is applicable means you have to forego a few things, that is deduction, exemption. Even though you are eligible for deduction, exemption and all, you have to forego it. Clear? What is the tax rate applicable in that case? 22%. Okay. Next, where the assessee has opted, that is domestic company has opted for under section 15 BAB. BAA was previous, now BAB. This is available only for manufacturing company, okay, who has started on or after 1st October 2019, that is new companies. Sir, what about the companies which has established before that? Before that, for them actually 115 BA will be applicable for old manufacturing companies. Agree? Sir, what is the tax rate applicable for them? 15%. 15%. So assume where the company, domestic company, has not opted for section 115 AA and the total turnover or gross receipts of the company in the previous year 18-19 does not exceed 400 crore. That means, what is this 25% means? Sir, you are not falling in any of this category. That means you are not selecting these options. Okay. See, these first three sections are there now. 115 BA, 115 BAA, 115 BAB. These three are some special options given for the company. If you want, choose this. Pay tax at lower rate. Okay. Obviously, you have to forego few things, which we will see later. So, if you are not opting for this option, then for you another two options are there. Which are those? We will see. Okay. So, if you are not opting for any special provision for domestic company, two options are there. Okay. What are those? So, where if you are not opted for any scheme above, total turnover or gross receipts of a company in the previous year 18-19 does not exceed 400 crore. So, in previous year 18-19 they are talking about, not our previous year, some other past year. Okay. Your turnover does not exceed, that is less than or equal to 400 crore. In that case, what is the tax rate applicable for you? 25%. If not, it is always 30%. If not, always 30%. That means in the previous year your turnover is more than 400 crore. In that case, for a domestic company, tax rate is 30%. So I will repeat for the companies. Guys, please pay attention. Please pay attention. There are some three special schemes, new schemes we will call it as, given to the companies, that is domestic companies only. Okay. If you are opting for that special schemes, then the rates will be 25%, 22% or 15% depending upon under which section you are covered. Agree? Next, if you are a domestic company, if you are not opted for the above schemes, that is new schemes, then for you either 25% or 30%. Sir, when 20%, when 30%, I have given here. So to see whether 25% or 30%, you have to see what is the turnover of domestic company in previous year 18-19. Agree? If your turnover is less than or equal to 400 crore, then the rate is 25%. If not, it is 30%. If not, it is 30%. Hope you guys are clear. Okay? Chalo. So, sir, what is this new scheme? What they have to forego everything? Actually, we have a separate chapter where I will be explaining guys. So, what is section 115 BA? What is under section 115 BAA? What is section 115 BAB? When can a company opt for it? What they have to forego? Everything in detail. We have a chapter called Tax Incidence of Companies. Tax Incidence of Company, which is chapter 14. Chapter 14. I will explain it there. Okay. As on today, you just know, okay, what are the different tax rates applicable for domestic companies. Clear? And when it comes to foreign company, it is always 40%. It is always 40%. So for income tax purpose, we have two category of companies. One is foreign company, one is domestic company. If it is a domestic company, the tax rates are different. It starts from 15% and it ends on 30%. If it is a foreign company, always 40%. Sir, new scheme applicable for foreign company? No. New scheme is available only for our companies, Indian companies, promoting Make in India, whatever we support Indian company now, Atmanirbhar Bharat, so many things they are introducing. Okay. Shushant, company includes foreign company was well. Yes, it will include. Company includes, there are two types of company. That's what I told you for income tax purpose. Even when we are discussing the residential status under section 6.3, there were two category of companies. Agree na? Domestic company other than domestic company. Here also same way. Pranita Raghuram, are they gonna mention the section name, sir, in the question? Yeah, they will mention. If it is a special scheme, see guys, if they are just told domestic company and they are silent about anything else, in that case apply 30%. If they are just given domestic company, always apply 30%. Then if it is covered in any of the above 4 points, that is, I will erase this 1 second. Yeah, if domestic company has to be covered in these 4 cases, I am telling these 4 cases, okay, new scheme as well as the old scheme, the turnover case, they have to specifically give in the question what is the scenario, then only I can decide what rate is applicable. If they are not given, always apply 30%. That is what I told you. General rate for domestic company is always 30%. Then if they give clearly in the question that the domestic company has opted for section 115BA or BAA or something like that, then decide how much percentage to apply. How much percentage to apply. Clear? Yeah. Next, good to know. Similar to AMT, alternate minimum tax was applicable for other people now, like individual, partnership firm and all. Alternate minimum tax is applicable, which we will be seeing in chapter 13. Same way, there is something called as MAT. What is this MAT, sir? Minimum alternate tax. Minimum alternate tax under which the companies has to pay tax at 15%, which we will be studying in chapter 14. So don't worry anything with respect to this now. Okay, this I have given for your reference later. Okay, when you are studying everything after I complete the portions, now this point you will get it. Clear? Yeah. Now Sulochana, you can ask your doubt. You had some doubt, I guess.
Actually, these amendments will go further years also, sir.
Yeah. From 1st April it starts, madam. 1st April 2020. Okay, I will also tell the background of this. Okay, especially this 15%. Okay, for your knowledge. See, in Indian stock market last year around September, October, it was facing some recession. Not exactly recession, but it was going down. Indian stock markets. And because there was some changes and all made by Indian government in the previous Finance Act, that is Finance Act 2019, I will tell. Sir, what is that? Okay, this is only for those who know the act already, that for them, there was something called as long-term capital gain. Okay, whenever you buy and sell the shares, and if it is a long-term capital gain, it was completely exempt before. But in the Finance Act 2019, what our Nirmala Sitharaman ji told was, from now it is not completely exempt. Only up to 1 lakh we will give exemption. If you are having any long-term capital gain on the sale of shares, more than 1 lakh, pay tax. Market started falling from that day. Okay. So till almost September, October, it was still in the falling mood only. Okay. So in between, Nirmala Sitharaman called for a press conference, told, from today we are giving some new policies for domestic companies, telling, if you are okay, satisfying, if you are a manufacturing company so and so who was established in India, if you are a domestic company, then from today tax rate is 15%, 22%, like that, and you have to forego some small thing. This lightly she told at the end, you have to forego some small thing. That small things are deductions, exemptions and all. You cannot calculate anything. Even for individuals, actually they have brought something called as new scheme, which we will see later. Okay, which is of no use actually. Fine, Madam Sulochana, are you clear? Then once immediately she announced this policy or scheme, immediately market started raising. Immediately on the same day. On the same day, market started raising. Whatever it had lost already, almost everything was covered. Even during this COVID also, you people would have observed. Those people have some knowledge about market or observed what had happened. In February, March, you can observe, in February, March, I can tell, also April also you can take. Initially, the COVID entered India with some grand welcome, entered India, okay. So market before that, before this COVID and all, was almost like 13,000 or some 12,000 change. Nifty 50 we call it as, Nifty 50, okay. So this Nifty was almost 13,000 in that February before COVID, I am telling. Okay, once the COVID cases started coming in India, like 1 or 2 cases only, 1, 2, 3 start, initially it was like that, okay, here and there, okay. So lockdown was announced in March 22nd, from March 22nd or 23rd. So all those things happened, market starting falling, okay, market started falling down, it fall down, record break, they in single day it fall down 500 points, 600 points, 700 points and all, okay. And it came almost to 7,000, from 13,000 to 7,000. Almost you people have lost 50% of your money. That means, see, there are people who invest small money in the market, but there are people who are dependent on the market. They have invested crores together. So assume you have invested 1 crore investment, your investment have become 50 lakhs now. Okay, in a span of just 1 or 2 months or 15 days, I can tell. In a span of just 15 days or 30 days. Okay, just because of this COVID. It is a pandemic which has affected entire world or global economy. Not only Indian market, all the markets were fall down like this. Okay, but once they removed the lockdown, everything, then the market started raising. Okay, so market started raising. Still COVID is there. Corona is there. Everything is there. But still, today market is almost around 13,500 or 13,500 plus also. I'm just giving the approx figure. So Nifty 50 today, it's almost 13,500. It has come back to this level. But imagine those who have invested at this level, they have almost gained 100%, double, almost. Agree? Assume I have invested 1 crore in this when it was 7,000, somewhere in March, April. Okay, so today the market is 13,500, almost double, just in a span of 1 or 2 months. Whereas it takes normally for you to earn 100% return almost 10 years or 8 to 10 years, I can tell. 8 to 10 years. Okay, yeah. Prabharan sir is telling further, this is to promote. Yeah, there are many things which they are doing now. Make in India, Digital India, promote India, so many things. Now Atmanirbhar Bharat, now especially after this COVID and all, they are trying to take, okay, they are also trying to push the citizens to buy the made in India products. Okay, which I feel might be good for India's future. Okay, yeah. Shashikant, what about your experience at that time, sir? Even I am also invested in the market, full gone. Okay, we cannot do anything. Obviously, these are the things which are not in our control. Okay, obviously we will select the good companies and invest. Okay, during this COVID, there was no difference between good company, bad company. Everyone was falling. Okay, we were like just watching. Okay, obviously we cannot take any decision. I cannot sell off everything at a loss. So I was invested. Obviously I have done lot of research and I invested in good companies. Still, okay, even pharma based companies also fell. Later they started raising. During that COVID initial stage, they also fell. Pranita, okay, yeah, I have invested. Pranita is telling, sir, invest in pharma companies. I have already invested. Okay, I have almost 4-5 pharma companies. Fine, leave that. Okay, even I have suffered loss. Even the best of best people in the market have suffered loss during that time. But now almost everything is recovered. Now it is, the Nifty is at its all-time high. It is at all-time high. We will call it as all-time high now. Yeah. Chalo. Pranita is giving me a suggestion. Madam, you give some more suggestions so that I will follow you. Okay. For pharma stocks. Yeah, she is true, because now the pharma stock is in bullish trend, because now if vaccine is announced and if it is available for every citizen, obviously it is a good for the pharma sector. Yeah. So, but I feel as a teacher, I am just telling, I am like, if you people wish to invest or something, like you try to figure out the good companies in pharma, telecommunication. Now only 2 players are there. Only 2 players are there in telecommunication. They will start looting the money in future. Invest, no problem. If you are an investor, nothing will affect you. Okay. The Neeraj Arvindan, but the country is currently in technical recession, right? So see, yes, but not only India, entire world is facing that. So that will not make any difference. Okay, and I cannot tell it is in a recession stage, because almost all the economy is coming to a normal stage, even though there is COVID still, because everyone is operating at their full capacity now, almost full capacity, if not 100%, at least like 80 to 90 I can tell. Okay, so there won't be any recession, but I tell that India's future is bright, guys. Okay, irrespective of who rule India, I am not bothered about who rule India in future, but India's future is bright. Okay, yeah. Dhananjaya Raju, sir, but the flat rate of 25% would be applicable in previous year 18-19, where turnover is less than 400 crore. So now for our previous year 2021, it won't be applicable, right? Because for assessment year 21-22, we consider, see, yeah, see, I will explain this. What Dhananjaya is asking is with respect to this point. Yeah, Dhananjaya is asking with with respect to this, where it has not opted for 115 BAA. See, they are telling if your turnover is in the previous year 18-19 is less than or equal to 400 crore, then tax rate for you in previous year 2021 will be 25%. 25%. Agree? What is this? I will again explain. If your previous year 18-19 turnover is less than or equal to 400 crore, then in previous year 2021 your tax rate is 25%. The tax rate for 25% is not for previous year 18-19. We are discussing about 2021 only. To know what is the tax rate applicable for a domestic company in previous year 2021, we will go back to history and check what is your turnover in 18-19. Agree? And there we will see. Okay, yeah. I hope you are clear, Dhananjaya. Yeah. Neeraj is telling Sun Pharma too. Yeah, I don't. Sun Pharma is not in my radar. Anyway, you guys can follow. Yeah, and one more thing, what I was telling, I am very bullish on telecommunication. Why bullish? In the sense I am expecting it to go up. Okay, guys, it's not relevant to tax, but still relevant for our what is that syllabus, I can tell, because I will be teaching for you FM management accounting also, those who will be attending second group. Okay, let me explain there better, because now let us stick to taxation. Those whoever will come to FM class, there we will discuss. Are there problems based on slab rates topic, sir? Yeah, we will do. Don't worry, madam, we will do problem on everything. But first we have to cover everything here. Okay, then only we can go to the problems. Yeah, we will continue, guys. So please concentrate, everyone. Here and there we will be discussing some general topics also for knowledge sake. Okay, for knowledge sake. Yeah, for certain special income like long-term capital gains, lottery income, specified short-term capital gains, etc. Above slab rate or normal rates are not applicable. That's what I told you. Sir, what are those special incomes? Long-term capital gains, lottery income, specified short-term capital gain, etc. For them, some special rate is applicable. What is that? We will see later. These incomes are taxable at some special rates. Okay. While slab rates are given in Annual Finance Act, special rates are given in income tax itself. This is important because it is given in some specific sections. Whereas there is no sections for slab rates, whatever we discussed, whatever rates we discussed till now, for that there is no specific sections because it is given in the Finance Act. Agree? When it comes to special rates or special income, it is given in a particular section. You can observe here. So whatever I am showing it now is a special incomes. Okay, we have around 4 to 5 special incomes for which some special rates are applicable. Okay, if you have income of this nature, then you have to pay tax rate at this rate. Tax at this rate, whatever rate is given. For you, first whatever we discussed rates are not applicable. Agree? Chalo. Yeah, we'll start, guys. Please pay attention. Bala Sridhar. So in order to change the tax rate for special income, the IT Act is to be amended, sir. Yes, correct, madam. So if you want to change these rates and all, they will amend the Income Tax Act itself. Okay. See, actually previously 112 was there. Later, they added new section 112A and 111A like that. Okay. So if they want to change the existing section, they will make some amendments, or else they will add altogether new section itself. So 112A, as I told you, it was added in Finance Act 2019, madam. This is why market fell. I gave an example now. Yeah. So we will see one by one. First I will tell 112A, then we will go to 111A. Okay. And first, okay, long term capital gain. Sir, first 112 I am discussing. One by one we will go. 112. If you have any long term capital gain, sir, what is long term capital gain and all, we will discuss in capital gains chapter. So see guys, we are now bothered about only tax rates. Okay, in detail every point we will be covering in coming chapters. Agree? Because now if I start explaining long term capital gains, first I should explain what is capital gains. If I have to explain what is capital gains, then I have to tell what is capital asset, what is transfer, everything. So then it will take more time for me to finish this chapter. Okay, so in that particular point I would be explaining, no worries. Okay. Actually, see, Sushant is asking, sir, what is the difference between tax rate and slab rate? See, tax rate is the ultimate. Slab rate is a part of it. Slab rate means, that is what I told you, up to 2,50,000. So there are different rates applicable for you depending upon your income. Okay, tax rates are two types: slab rate, flat rate. Flat rate, slab rate. Slab rates are applicable for individual HUF like that people. Flat rates are applicable for companies. Okay. Other than this, one more thing is there, that is special rates. That is what we are seeing now, special rates. Okay. All these three, slab, flat and special rates, all are tax rates only. Clear? Yeah. If you have any long-term capital gain other than which is given in section 112A, it is always 20%. The tax rate is always 20%. Clear? Fine. Then 112A. 112A will tell long-term capital gain on the transfer of only three things. Only three things. What are those? Equity share, unit of equity oriented fund. This is like mutual fund investment and all. Then unit of business trust. Unit of business trust. So if you are having any of these three investments and if you have sold it and if you have got long-term capital gain. Long-term capital gain means if you are holding that for a long time and if you have sold it, it is called long-term capital gain. Okay, there is some period criteria and all which we will see later. Okay, so now in that case, conditions for availing, there is some conditions. Okay, the tax rate is 10%, guys. The tax rate is 10% on whatever long-term capital gain you will get on the sale of the following three items. The tax rate is 10%, but there are some conditions. Conditions for availing the benefit of this concessional rate is securities transaction should have been paid. Sir, what is the securities transaction tax? Guys, whenever you are purchasing and selling the shares or these units and all through stock exchange, there will be something called as securities transaction tax which will be levied. Again, this is also a revenue of government. Okay, this is one of the form of revenue for the government. Securities transaction tax. Whenever you are trading in stock exchange, securities transaction tax has to be paid based on your turnover of your sales. Agree? Next. Where was I? Yeah. In case of capital asset, so there are totally three capital asset now. So we are segregating that into two parts. What is that? If you are having and selling equity shares, then you would have paid securities transaction tax. We will call it as STT in short. You would have paid STT both when you are buying it and when you are selling it. Agree? If you are having equity shares, you have to pay securities transaction tax both at the time of buying as well as selling. Sir, what if I am not paid? Then 10% rate is not applicable. Sir, what if 10% is not applicable? Then you will be covered in section 112 where 20% is applicable. Agree? Sir, if I am not covered in 112A, that doesn't mean that okay, you are not covered in any other section. You have to pay tax as per section 112. Please be careful. Okay, long-term capital, whenever you have long-term capital gain, first you see whether you are covered in 112A. If not, go for 112. That's all. Clear? Next, second point. Unit of equity oriented fund or unit of business trust. Both put together. You would have paid STT at the time of transfer. That means sale. See, normally they use the word in the act transfer. That is nothing but sale, guys. Okay, it has other meanings also which we will see in capital gains chapter. Agree? Then, but note you can see LTCG exceeding rupees 1 lakh is taxable at 10%. That means, sir, what if I have long-term capital gain on sale of equity share of rupees 50,000? Should I pay tax? No, you need not pay tax. It is not taxable. Sir, assume I have a long-term capital gain on the sale of equity share of rupees 1,50,000. How much is taxable? Only 50,000 is taxable. At what rate? 10%. At 10%. Clear? Chalo. Hope you guys are clear. So, if I just want to draw this in chart, whenever there is a long-term capital gain, guys, okay, two sections are applicable. So, which are those? So, first I need to see what is the asset. What is the asset? So, if the asset is equity share, units of what is it? Equity oriented funds or units of business trust. Okay, or else I will write fund here. Or units of business trust. So it will be easy. EFT. EFT is the short form. If it is a equity share or units of equity oriented funds. So F is the funds. T, units of business trust. Okay, fine. Then which section is applicable for you? Which section is applicable for you? See guys, the same topic again will come in capital gains chapter. Again, I won't be explaining in detail whatever I have done here. I will just brush up there and go ahead. Okay. So in that case, which section is applicable? 112A. Tax rate, what rate? 10% in excess of rupees 1 lakh. Agree na? Only if you have long term capital gain in excess of rupees 1 lakh. Fine. So then coming to other case, any other asset. Okay, any other asset means other than that 3. Any other asset, fine. Then which is the section applicable? 112. Then what is the tax rate? Full 20%. Sir, I have 1 rupee long term capital gain. Full 20%. Straight away 1 rupee into 20%. No benefit, nothing here. Hope you guys are clear. So long term, you have to always divide it into 2 parts. Clear guys? Then again, short term capital gain also I will divide similar way. Same way guys. Okay. Same way. Please pay attention here. Please pay attention. Now I am going to next step. Sir, in place of long term capital gain, here you have seen now this box. Same thing, assume it is short term capital gain. Short term capital gain means you are holding that shares only for some small period and you are selling it off. Okay, that is less than 12 months, something like criteria is there. Okay, in that case, sir, which section is applicable? Section is 111A. Asset is same again, EFT. Agree guys? EFT is the assets. So which section is applicable, sir? 111A. What is the tax rate applicable, sir? 15% for full amount. On full amount guys. No 1 lakh, nothing like that. On full amount, 15% is given. Where it is given? 111A. Again, some condition has to be satisfied there. We will see that later. Then, sir, any other asset? Any other asset other than EFT? Any other asset? In that case, for you, normal rate is applicable. Normal rate. Sir, what is normal rate, sir? Whatever we saw before this. Like for slab rate for some people, flat rate for some people, whatever rate we saw now, that rates are applicable. Again, for example, you have got some short term capital gain from the sale of land. From the sale of land. For you, what rates are applicable? These rates are applicable for you. Whatever rate we discussed in this table. Okay, this rate, depending upon who you are, whether you are a company, partnership firm, individual, depending upon that, for you, tax rates will be applicable. Agree? See guys, understand the theoretical aspect now. We will do problems, calculation, everything, how to apply everything, so that you will get a clarity. Okay, so here if I just tell, from EFT, if I am getting long term, it is covered under section 112A, 10%, more than 1 lakh. Okay, if it is a short term, in case of EFT, it is 15% under section 111A, same. Okay, if you study this in one place, that is in 112A, if you study, same thing is applicable for 111A, but it should be short term, that's all. Okay, sir, when a capital gain is said to be a short term, when you are holding for some less number of days. Sir, how many days, how many months, everything we will see in capital gains chapter. Clear? Yeah. Please be careful with this note, guys, because you may go wrong in calculation here. We will be doing problems on this. Okay, in this chapter, as well as we have some chapter called as total income and tax liability chapter. Total income and tax liability chapter we will be doing there also. Okay, and this tax rate calculation and all, almost in every chapter we will be seeing this. Okay, yeah. Next, 111A, very easy. Short term capital gain on transfer of, again same three assets. Conditions for availing the benefit of this concessional rates. This condition is a bit different. What is that? We will see. That transaction of sale of such equity shares or unit should be entered on or after 1st October 2004. Why means this section was introduced on that date. Okay, they told, okay, this is the standard date, we will keep it. Okay, so if you are selling any of these three items after 1st October 2004, this is applicable. For me, actually this condition is not relevant, because anyway anything we calculate is for previous year 2021. That means if you have sold something in previous year 2021, then only we will calculate. So obviously this condition will be satisfied. It is implied. Okay. Next, such transaction should be chargeable to securities transaction tax. Agree? Next, note, all other short-term capital gains is taxable as per normal rates. For other short-term capital gain, normal rates. As I told you, like land, building, plant and machinery, furniture, so and so assets, for you, normal rates is applicable. Whereas if it is a long-term, 20%, 112 is applicable. Okay, for long-term, always special rates, guys, either 20% or 10%. Okay, yeah, there is a doubt from Bala Sridhar. So if I pay STT fulfilling the condition, of course, I need to pay tax at 10%. Yes, madam. If you are not paying, assume you are, sir, I have not satisfied these conditions, whatever conditions they have given here, then you will fall in 20% criteria. You will fall in 20% criteria. That is 112. Section 112. Next, sir, one more important section. See, guys, these are very important. We will be learning these sections again in particular chapter. So if I tell this three sections, 112, 111A and 112A, we will be seeing in capital gains chapter. We will be seeing in capital gains chapter. There is a chapter called capital gains. Okay. Then 115 BB, this section we will see in income from other sources. Okay. Chalo. So now I will be explaining 115 BB. So if you are, we call this as casual income, guys. Casually I am getting something. What is that? Winnings from lotteries, crossword puzzles, races including horse race, card games and other games of any sort, gambling or betting of any sort. In that case, straight away you have to pay tax at 30%. Okay, you have to pay tax at straight away 30%, highest rate. Okay, and over and above this, there are certain restrictions and all for this, which we will see later. Okay, that means you cannot claim any deduction against this casual income and all. Some restrictions are there, which we will see later. Clear, guys? So if you are having any casual nature income, then 30%. If you are having any capital gain, then see where it falls. Okay, accordingly decide. So these are your special rates, guys. Okay, so whenever you have income, okay, whenever you have income, assume you have some total income, okay, of some 20 lakh figure. First segregate into normal income and special income. Okay, so segregate that into always special income and normal income. So for special income, how much ever it is there, so assume it is like 5 lakh, special rate is applicable. Special rate is applicable. For assume, so normal income would be 15 lakh. On this, normal rate is applicable. So normal rate, yeah, might be of two types. One is flat rate, the other one is slab rate, depending upon who you are. Depending upon who you are. Depending upon who you are. Clear? Clear, guys? This is how. Sir, they have not given any, in the question they have given total income of Mr. Vikas is 20 lakhs, but they have not given anything with respect to special income. Always assume in that case 20 lakh is full normal income. Full 20 lakh will be normal income. Agree? If they have not given any information with respect to special income, always consider it as a normal income. Okay, these are some important points you have to be careful. Yeah, Bala Sridhar, is there any basic essential limit for No, there is no special basic essential limit for this, guys. Okay, see how do we calculate when we have both things, everything we will see later when we go to that particular chapter, guys. As of now, only bother about tax rates. Okay, so even when we are doing the problems on this chapter, I have not included any special income items here, because when we go to that particular chapter, for example, capital gains or income from other sources, I have included problem there. That is when you have both total income, which includes normal income as well as special income, because we have to study some more special points for this. Okay, which I will be seeing in capital gains or income from other sources chapter. As of now, worry only about tax rates. Okay, we will do, don't worry. See, at the end of the syllabus or at the end of my class, I would have covered each and everything, guys. Okay, because what happens now, I don't want to bring everything, whatever is related to some other chapters, I don't want to bring that things here and confuse you. Okay, if I start talking about all those things now, you may get confused, and from tomorrow you will stop attending the class. This person is talking something and all, let me stop attending the class. Anta. Okay, so I don't want, I know how to handle, how to we proceed everything, I will do it. So you guys don't worry, everything I will be covering. Okay. Chalo, guys. So we have seen some special incomes. How to calculate in tax in that case also I have told. We will be doing practical problems on that, don't worry. And one special point which I have told you, please be careful with that. That is, if you have total income which includes both special income and normal income, please segregate it first, then apply the tax rates. Agree? Chalo. We will see one more important point which people were worried about, that is rebate from income tax to resident individual. That is given in section 87A. Sir, what is this? I will just give a background of this. See, it was announced in somewhere 2017 or 18, I don't exactly remember. Previously it was some small amount, later they increased it to 12,500. So what Nirmala Sitharaman ji told was, when she announced this 87A rebate, if you have income up to 5 lakh, you need not pay tax. Up to 5 lakh, it is tax free anta. Up to 5 lakh tax free. Even I had the same way. But later, that scenario was different. That means basic exemption limit was not increased to 5 lakh. Okay, they told if you have tax up to 5 lakh, it is tax free. That means if you have income up to 5 lakh, you need not pay tax in India. Be happy, enjoy. But, sir, what if I have income of 5 lakh 1,000? For you, rebate is not at all applicable. That means this rebate is given only for the people who have income less than 5 lakh. That is total income less than 5 lakh. Clear, guys? And this is a rebate. They have not increased the basic exemption limit. It is just a rebate. That means you have to calculate tax in a normal way. At the end, if your income is less than 5 lakh, okay, claim rebate. If not, don't claim rebate. It is like that. Okay, we will do problems on this in the same chapter, in this chapter itself. So for whom it is applicable, everything we will see one by one. An assessee being a resident individual whose total income does not exceed 5 lakh. That is, if it is up to 5 lakh, total income. Okay, irrespective of which income it is. Don't worry here with respect to special income, normal income and all. Okay, shall be entitled to a deduction of amount equal to 100% of total tax or an amount of 12,500, whichever is lower, as rebate. Okay, and this is a rebate, guys. So I have given some formula here. What is the rebate under section 87A? You should be first of all resident individual plus your total income should be up to 5 lakh. Then only you are eligible for rebate. So both conditions should be satisfied, guys. Sir, what about Sir, what about non-resident individual? This benefit is not there. Rebate is not applicable. Even though your income is less than 5 lakh, for non-resident, rebate is not applicable. Clear? We have some notes, we will see. The rebate shall be equal to the amount of income tax payable on your total income for any assessment year or an amount of rupees 12,500, whichever is less. So what they are trying to tell is, if you have income exactly 5 lakh, what will be your tax liability? 12,500, because 2,50,000 into 5%, 12,500. So you can take that as a rebate. Or else if your tax liability is less than 12,500, assume you have income around 4 lakh or 4 lakh 50, something like that. So your tax liability will be around 10,000, imagine. So your tax liability is 10,000. Sir, how much the rebate I can claim? Only 10,000. Agree? Your tax liability or 12,500, whichever is lower. Okay. Even though your tax liability is 10,000, you cannot claim a rebate of 12,500. They won't give you any money. Okay. Hope you understood. So rebate is equal to your tax liability or 12,500, whichever is lower. Sir, assume I have income of 5 lakh 100 rupees, sir. 5 lakh 100 rupees. Am I eligible for rebate? No. Rebate is equal to 0 in that case. Rebate is equal to 0. You cannot claim full 12,500. Agree? Please be careful. Next, consequently, any individual having total income up to be required to pay any tax, 5 lakh will not be required to pay any tax. That means up to be required. One second, this sentence somewhere it is wrong. Consequently, any individual having total income up to. So this sentence, this up to should be together. Up to 5 lakh to be required to pay. No, is not required to pay any tax in India. Okay, the sentence is not clearly arranged there. So it is like this. What is second point is, if you are having income up to 5 lakh, don't pay tax. That is what they told. Okay. Sushant is telling why they have mentioned deduction of 100%. It looks like a joke. Yeah. That is what. See, when she announced also it was like this. Okay. So you need not pay tax up to 5 lakh. Okay. Everyone was happy. That means everyone, okay, up to 5 lakh, I need not pay tax. Later they told only if you have income less than 5 lakh. What is the use? Okay, because how many people will be covered under that bracket? Okay, okay, it will be beneficial for some lower income people and all, no doubt, but still, how many people will be covered under that? That is the case. Instead of that, they would have increased the basic exemption limit to 5 lakh. That is what I feel. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, they also have to play the strategy, na. C. Rebate under section 87A is, however, not available in respect of tax payable at 10% on long-term capital gains taxable under section 112A. That means, if you have a long-term capital gain which is covered under section 112A, and if you are paying tax on that, you cannot claim rebate. For example, assume you only have one income, that is long-term capital gain on the sale of equity share. How much, sir? 4 lakh. 4 lakh. On that, you have to pay some 10% tax in excess of 1 lakh, basic exemption limit, everything will be applicable. Assume you got some 5,000 tax liability, 5,000. Okay, how to compute tax and all we will see later. Assume you got 5,000 tax. Sir, can I claim rebate because your total income is less than 5 lakh? No. You cannot claim rebate against your tax liability computed under section 112A. This is one exception which they have kept. Okay, because you are trading in share means we will consider you as a rich person. Pay tax. That is why this is also one of the reason why market started falling. Okay, you are taking away all the benefits which are given for the investor. Then how come the market will perform well? How can you expect the market to perform well? Okay, so investors started taking out especially the foreign investor, FII we will call it as foreign institutional investors, started taking down the money from India's market. Obviously, if they are getting some tax benefit in some other country, they will invest there. Why to invest here? If I get some gain, I have to pay so much of taxes in India. So it's a big headache. Okay. Then last point, rebate shall be computed before health and education cess. So rebate shall be given before health and education cess. Sir, what is health and education cess? We will see in the evening. Okay, guys. So we have covered few points, guys. Before you come for the evening class, please do study all these things and come. Okay, we have some more points which we will finish and start doing the problems. After that, we have to discuss something new scheme also. So it should not be like confusing you for you. Please do study all the things whatever I have covered, especially in this chapter. You try to remember all the tax rates, everything, so that in the evening when I am doing the problem, you people should be telling the answers for me. Clear? Okay, guys. So we'll stop it here for the morning class and we will continue in the evening. Clear? Bye for now. Take care. Study well.